Well, welcome back to the Heart of the Bear Factory for Season 2 of Pawsitive Impact, the show that talks about making plushies with an impact. My name is Rob Johnson, and joining me as always, Jimmy, Jerry. Welcome back, fellas. We are in Season 2, kicking off. So for listeners, we had the full run of Season 1. We did a show bridging the seasons, talking a little bit about some political issues that were taking place around the globe. Now, as we sit here at the end of January, we're going to talk a little bit about some more issues around the globe that might be impacting imports and what that looks like for the business. One of the biggest issues that has taken place in the last 30 to 45 days have been the wildfires out on the West Coast. So, Jimmy, I'll start with you. Just talk to me a little bit about how this has made an impact and the shipping and receiving side of the business.
Yeah, historically, things that go on over in the LA area usually don't impact us because we historically will run through like Vancouver. And as we've talked about over various episodes, container timelines used to be 30 days door to door. Since COVID, specifically over the last 2 years even, that's gone up to 60 days. We have a container that it's been in transit for 80 days right now that we've been waiting on. We thought we were going to get it during Christmas break, and now we're sitting here. So we've had to look at new avenues and new channels to get product here. They're more expensive, which is a bummer, but there's opportunity to cut that down in half from 60 days down to 26, 30 days. The only problem is that is utilizing something called transloading, where we actually import to LA. The product is then offloaded, put on pallets, and then put on a truck with like a 2-man trucking team, and then it's trucked across the country. So it's faster, but now with all these wildfires, it seems like just impeccable poor timing on our part. So we've been really focused in obviously everything that's going on over there. Plush toys is so not important in comparison to like people losing homes. And we were just up north and was talking to somebody at like a cafe, and they recently moved back from LA, and we're like, oh my gosh, we're so sorry to hear about what's going on. And she's like, yeah, my neighborhood is decimated, like just gone. It's like if you have a house fire here locally in Michigan, it's like one house has done the neighborhood rallies and supports those people. Everyone has been put out, and it's just really sad and tragic to hear about. So we, first and foremost, like our hearts and thoughts and positive vibes go out to everybody out there. And we have longtime family friends and business partners who live out there as well, who fortunately have not been impacted, but we've been paying really close attention to what's going on over there because it's impacting friends, family, as well as our company. And fortunately for the company, nothing has really made it down into the heart of the concrete jungle that is LA and impacting the ports. So as of right now, everything is moving smoothly as it's supposed to, given the circumstances, which is a really big blessing. But it definitely brings some perspective into just a lot of these crazy events, and just really being thankful and having gratitude for what we do have. And it's a really big issue that is really impacting the country.
I know when we did the special update episode, we talked about inventory being down at the Bear Factory, and that coming back up to normal levels in February. What's the timeline look like now? Is it still on track for all of that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have about 10 containers alone that have been making their snail's pace way across the world. That should be landing anywhere from mid-February to mid-March. And then we have these expedited containers, which is about another 10 to 12 of those that are all supposed to start landing right around Valentine's Day through the end of the month. So that projected timeline of being stock positive come the end of February is still on track, and is perfect timing just for spring break season. So there's definitely a lot of product that's going to be coming in over the next 30 to 60 days for sure.
Yeah. Jerry, from a historical perspective, how often has, natural disasters and things like that affected the Bear Factory and its history?
We've really never had any. This is the first time that we've been in a situation like we are. Again, Jimmy talked about our timing being impeccable, in a bad way to shift everything to Long Beach. The good thing, though, is Long Beach is south of where all the fires were, and trucks can get in, trucks can get out. The difference is we'll clear customs in California, which will be a bit different, that it won't come through the Michigan hub or, and through St. Paul, Minnesota. So that will change. The biggest thing for us is that we needed to make significant changes, going into this year. We have now partnered up with the largest plush factories in all of China. So that being said, you'll see a significant difference in everything that we do moving forward for 2025. Quality, sizing, changes, new fabrics, new animals. We finally hit the grand slam home run. When I used to own my own factories in China, it allowed us to move up the food chain in the plush business and be the best of the best, and that's how we were known. We picked up pretty much every big account in the United States and globally, from theme parks and so on. When we lost that capability, when stuff started to change in 2008 and 9 over in China, we went to factories, even our factory that was sold, and some other ones that would give us the ability to stay competitive. And over the years, China has changed a lot in regard to how many factories have really shut down. You get what they call a lot of jobbers over in China, which are trading companies that will say that they have factories, but really what they're doing is they're just picking up your side business and then cutting themselves in for some of the profit of that, and then going to a factory, direct from them instead of us going direct. We don't have that capability to do that. We can never use, a jobber or a trading company to do our business with us. So we went back to our old roots and got a hold of very strong companies, and we got the best one that we could have ever hoped for. So 2025 will be a completely different year for us.
Yeah, that's great to hear. Speaking of 2025, the year is off to a really interesting start politically. Depending on what side of the aisle you sit on, but you can't not notice what's happening. And we talked a lot about tariffs in the special episode that we did. What's the forecast look like now, and has that changed since the last time we talked?
We're pro-business. That's the bottom line. We're a pro-business company. That has to be that way because everybody that we work with is a business. So it's a mindset that we have to keep on cultivating over and over and over again. We have to be very nimble. We have to move. Jimmy's done a great job with merchandising in different ways to impact sales at the store level. Not so much us because we're not in a store, but he's really impacted the way the product is now going to be shown for the customers that buy from us. And that's the big difference is, we have competitors out there. Those competitors sell retail. This company has never sold retail, nor will we ever do that, because we feel that that compromises every single customer that we've harnessed, kept, and done business with over 25 years. So, Jimmy's very innovative in the way that he goes about helping the customer at the store level.
Like, we could sit here and stress out all day about everything that's going on around the world, but that would literally do us no good whatsoever. So we're just going to focus on the things that we do have an impact on and be aware of the things that are the changes, and talk to our contacts and talk to our friends in the industry. And being the size company that we are and being family owned and operated, like we are able to be nimble as well and pivot pretty quickly if needed.
Again, our business, it's all about margin, delivery and margin. We work off of sliver margins with what we do because we're B2B. Now, if you have other people in the plush business, that are selling retail where they are, their margins are significantly different than ours. So their top end is going to be much bigger than our bottom end because of that reason. So, with margins, everything in our business is how much can we make without ever hurting our customer. So we will, stay very competitive with everybody out there industry-wide. And with that being said, Jimmy will keep on doing what he does to innovate. We will innovate, we will move product in, and we will be in the best stock position that we've been in, since COVID.
Yeah, it's been a battle for sure.
Yeah. Well, I'm certainly excited to see it. Before we wrap up, I want to bring back a segment that we did from season 1. And, Jimmy, I'm going to hand this guy to you, or girl. And, you can tell us about it.
Yeah, this is a new dragon that we actually is going to be hitting shelves probably in the next 30 days here with that mass influx of containers that we have coming in here. But we've kind of always, I feel like, struggled with dragons and mythical creatures over the years as far as like what has sold really well. And for anyone who's there's a bunch of new book series that are out there that just kind of touch on dragons. Like, we're a huge Game of Thrones fan, and definitely grew up with being more Lord of the Rings versus Star Wars. So sorry for anyone in this room that's more of a Star Wars fan, but no. But this is just like a fun guy that we were playing around with, and just kind of adding some of the cool accents with like the gold makes it interesting. And then he's still able to be dressed up with some clothing and stuff, where this can be like folded back as well. But we get a lot of people always asking about mythical creatures and specifically dragons. So I'm totally spacing on what we actually named this one, because if anyone noticed over this past year, all of the plushies on our website's names changed, and that just kind of happened. One afternoon, Kia was looking on the site, and she's like, I really don't like the names of the plushies anymore. I'm going to go ahead and change them all. And then 30 minutes later, after a powwow with all the girls in the office, they renamed all 100 SKUs, and they went and changed it on the website, which then had to be changed in QuickBooks, and now it's impacting like all the names on the boxes for production. So there's a lot of cute names, but once upon a time, I think that this was like lightning or something, but it's probably something else now for all I know.
So now the animals are having an identity crisis.
Yeah. But yeah, this should be coming in February, and I think it's going to be a really good seller.
Yeah, that's great. Love it. So gentlemen, if there's nothing else, we'll wrap up this episode, and we'll be back for episode 2 of season 2 shortly here. So, all right, everyone, that's going to wrap up episode 1 of the 2nd season of Pawsitive Impact. Certainly appreciate you watching. If you want to know more about the Bear Factory, please check out the show notes for all information on the website. Apart from that, we'll see you next time. Take care.